Hello, folks. This is 𝗏𝗀𝗹𝗹, and thank you for attending our webinar, our NewRez webinar. And we're going to be starting just a couple of minutes here. We have a pile of people who are trying to log in right now. These are exciting times, man. I tell you what, when you hear what's happening now and what Noel and I did today, it's going to just blow you away. You won't believe it. You're going to go, how is that possible? And you're going to really start seeing kind of, what the real opportunities are and just how much can be generated from just a very few number of units. Of course, we're not talking about doing a few number of units, as you all know, but we're talking about scaling like crazy. But for those people that are brand new to our webinar, you're about to hear about something that is totally new. You never seen anything like this before. So whatever you've heard about real estate before doesn't count. Just doesn't count. So that's what's exciting. Let me say, we have a number of people who are all rolling in right now. I want to say hi to just a few. I cannot say hi to people on phones, but I can say hi to people who are in the system right now. Let me say hi to a couple people here. I've got David. Hi, David. Good to see you here. Kamon, very good to see you here. We've got, looks like Michael is here. We have just a favorite name of mine, Mr. 305 is in. We have Salina in, I believe. We've got Shamara in, and we have more people trying to come in right now. So we're going to wait 60 more seconds before we get going. And let me tell you, it's going to be a tornado. You're going to be very, very surprised at what you learn, what you hear tonight. And I can just say the opportunities in the real estate world, if you target the right place at the right time, are astronomical. You are going to be completely surprised, particularly brand new people who have never heard about this before. We do have a lot of people who are in on telephones right now. I can't say hi to you. I wish I could, but hi anyway. Hello, hello. So we're going to be starting in about 30 seconds. My name is 𝗏𝗀𝗹𝗹𝗏. I'm one of the executives here at NewRez. We are going to hear from our fearless leader in very, very short order. She is traveling yet again, but she's here in the great Clearwater Beach area, and we pulled off a real stunning surprise, which we're going to talk about tonight. I can tell you that for sure. So we're going to wait a couple, maybe give people 15 more seconds. We have a lot of people still trying to log in. If you had trouble logging in, sorry about it. I don't own GoToWebinar. If I did, I certainly would make the login process just a tad bit easier, but there you go. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Once again, my name is 𝗏𝗀𝗹𝗹𝗏. I'm one of the executives here at NewRez, and here is the bottom line. And I can tell you this for sure. By the end of this webinar, I'm going to make a bold statement, but it's absolutely correct. You're going to see the easiest way to start investing in real estate. There's a lot of hard ways, by the way. There's, putting together 30, 40, 50,000 bucks, finding, places to buy, renovating, all sorts. There's some hard ways, very hard ways, which are hard to, start. But you're going to see the easiest way to dip your toe into real estate, and you're going to learn how it's possible, because most people don't, wow, is this really possible? And it really is. So a little further along here, listen, now this is an understatement. I normally let people know if you stay to the end, you're going to see some of the properties that you could own a part of. We're now taking the word could out. And what you guys see tonight is, like I said, it is an indication of just, once again, sometimes, there are rocky times, but man, whoever's made the statement, there's a silver lining all around every cloud, ain't kidding, because there is a big silver lining, and you're going to hear about that tonight for sure. Now, to go a little further, I just want to tell you who I am just a little bit more. I own multiple companies. One of them is the Celebrity Network, where I'm connected with thousands of celebrities. You can see just some of them I work with: Paula Abdul, Ricky Williams. You see Lawrence Taylor, Phil Simms, Eddie George, Taj George, Paulina Parakova. I mean, Dougie Fresh. A lot of people. That's Kevin Harrington, Shark Tank star. But that's who I am. And why am I even mentioning this? Because this is how I met Noelle Randall. Because one of my celebrities did a big endorsement project with her after he found out all about what she's doing. And let me tell you something. That person who found out is one of the Shark Tank guys. And man, they know how to make money. And they know when they see somebody who can make money, and they want to get involved really fast. And that's what happened. And that's how I got involved. Got involved in Noelle Randall because one of my celebrities said, man, this person's sharp. So without further ado, you're now going to learn who Noelle Randall is. First of all, ton of smarts, ton of education, ton of study. She did a lot more than I did. That's for doggone Skippy. She has a bachelor's degree at UConn. If you know, Northeast schools are really tough. And then she went further. She got her master's degree at Penn State. I think, I'm pretty sure everybody on this call or in this webinar has heard of that. But then she went out and most importantly got an MBA from Baylor. So it's not like she doesn't, it's not like she knows real estate in terms of investing. She knows real estate in terms of every degree there is, from running a real estate business, from making loans. In fact, she was one of the first and youngest vice presidents at JPM Chase Bank. One of the youngest ever. And the same goes with Movement Mortgage. She's acquired millions of dollars in real estate assets. She's built and managed an extensive portfolio of single-family homes, which, by the way, are the toughest type of property to make profitable. She's authored 4 books on the subject of real estate. She has, by the way, one of the fastest growing real estate YouTube channels in the United States of America. But most people know her as a incredible real estate coach and mentor, and she's worked with a huge thousands of people, know all about what Noelle Randall's all about. But I want to make sure can you hear me, Noelle? Are you there?
Yes. Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I bet you're sitting there. You're looking out on the beach, nice clear water, or Bel Air Beach there. The water, is it nice?
Yes, it is beautiful. I cannot lie. This is definitely, some great real estate. It is beautiful views, beautiful area.
Well, I'm just going to let everybody know we truly have a way for you guys, everyone, to be sitting on that nice, beautiful view very soon. And let me ask you a question before we kind of get really rolling. Noelle, why did you start? What was the purpose of New Res? Why in the heck did you get into this deal? Why'd you found it?
Yeah, it's crazy. So it really has to do with what I was already doing. So I have been working with, there's a few people that know my story. I guess I'll go back. So, I started off just working a regular, boring corporate job, probably like a lot of people on the call. And I started learning how to do real estate investing, okay, kind of on the side. Well, actually, if you take it a little bit further back, I actually was investing in real estate, had no idea what I was doing, lost everything, ended up in my parents' basement. We ended up filing bankruptcy and foreclosure on all our properties. But I wanted to still do real estate for some reason. So kind of when we were down on our luck, I ended up getting a coach that taught me about wholesaling. So, helping people that had property problems and, helping those people, and getting, those properties under contract and then flipping those contracts for more money. So I did that, but I ended up getting, back my job, and I was doing real estate on the side, went from wholesaling, to fixing and flipping and then to rental properties. Okay. But all while I was kind of working. So eventually I was able to get enough rental properties where I could quit my job. And that was just like the best thing in the world to me. I was just living on cloud 9. Like, okay, I've replaced my 6-figure income with my rental properties. I have this thing figured out. And so long story short, after I kind of quit my job, I started helping people invest in real estate as well. And so I started taking on students and I started mentoring. And, I did realize, though, there were some people that didn't have the time to learn it. Maybe they worked the third shift or something like that. So this was one of the reasons when I created New Res. I wanted it to be for everyone, all of my students. I wanted to partner with more of them. I wanted them to kind of have some more hands-on stuff. So this was going to be like the big, way to get everybody involved. So that was my thought there.
And the main thing is, I know what you're telling me over and over again is for many people, they just couldn't get over the hump to get that first maybe 20,000 together or 30,000 together, and you wanted to figure out, is there a easier step? Is there, like, I don't want to say a baby step, but there's a saying, you got to crawl before you walk, or whatever.
Exactly. That was definitely what New Res was intended to be. And so I think we'll show them how we solve for problems that people that want to invest in real estate, some of the problems or challenges they face.
Exactly. And in fact, I really do want everybody to imagine or just think about getting regular checks every quarter, and just getting these checks coming in. They're getting a little bigger and they're getting a little bigger. And then all of a sudden there's another way that you can make money just by telling us about a property or two. And then there's another way of making money. So what we're doing is we're lining up multiple flows of income. So I just want you to think, just put that out there as a goal, as a future thing. But also, I want you to think about one other thing. Y'all hear about, wow, Airbnb, boy, I wish I knew about them when they started, or Amazon, boy, I wish I had a couple shares, like was, employee number 10 or whatever, or maybe Apple or Facebook. I'm telling you right now, and surely after you see what we did today, you're looking at that right now. The next company that everybody goes 2, 3, 5, 6 years from now and says, man, I wish I knew about them when they were a little baby company. Well, guess what? You guys who are listening to this right now are on the call, on phones, listening to the recording, because this is being recorded and sent out to thousands of people. That is where you are. So, once again, what are you going to learn? I'm telling you, this is the easiest way to invest and succeed in real estate. Noelle, you told me another thing about 5 months ago. You gave me a statistic about what was the first thing that millionaires got into first. And it wasn't, starting a software company, and it wasn't, being a pro football player. It wasn't a bunch of, what was it? And what was the percent?
So it's 89% of all millionaires were created through real estate. And so that was true 100 years ago, and it's still true to this day. So, real estate is one of the fastest and easiest ways to increase, wealth. And, and we'll talk about some of the ways, and I think everybody kind of knows that, but there's just some challenges that people face that we want to just help them with, so that they can get on the track to the #1 way to wealth in America.
So how certain are you that this is the easiest way that you've heard of ever?
Oh, it's my way. It's the way, even from our technical, education and, what I learned in business school to what I have in real life experience. And I see, working and versus, acquiring real estate assets. And there's just a big difference.
So would you say this is is there any other way you can think of?
Yeah, right.
I
can't think of any other way. No.
Okay. So you're going to learn right now, because here's the key, folks. There are basically 3 things that stop people. There's 3 things that stop people. Many cases, they don't know how to make a real estate investment work in terms of cash flow. They don't know how to do it. Well, you're about to learn how we do it, and not only we do it really well, but New Res doubles, triples, or quadruples or more the normal cash flow of a property. So you're going to learn that. You're going to learn, how is that possible that one could take the normal, I'm not talking about like no profit. I'm talking about take the normal amount of cash and exponentially increases. That's secret one. Secret number two, many people don't have the time, they don't have the resources, they don't have the knowledge to find, buy, renovate, and then monetize a piece of property. Most people don't have that. Even people training, they still don't quite have it. So that's a barrier. And with New Res, you're going to find out how you will never have to find, buy, renovate, or sell any property to make a great return with us. Secret number three, I'm just going to read it. How you don't have to risk putting up a huge deposit or even get bank financing to invest. I'm not talking about walking to somebody and say, give me your house, you know, and they give it to you. I'm not talking about that, but about as close we get. So those are the three secrets we're going to address. And the first one we're going to touch on, which is the totally new way to make 2 to 3 times more cash flow from any residential property. Now, before I say anything, I'm going to give you a hint, guys and gals. Here's the hint. There's a little company called Airbnb. It's worth probably now about $60 billion. They're in 180 countries. They host, on average, 3 million people a night. Now, here's where they are cutting edge. They allow companies and individuals the ability to simply post a property or properties on their platform, and you don't have to pay one thin dime up front to do that. And guess what they do? They spend billions of dollars promoting all over the world for people to come to the platform. What's the importance of that? Because we don't have to. We don't have to take any of our properties and promote them to get tenants. Airbnb does that, and that basically takes about 10% of the cost that a company in the real estate business would normally have to pay out and makes that a big fat zero. Number two, New Res doesn't have to collect deposits, collect rents, and go after people if they don't pay. Airbnb does it. So now all of a sudden New Res doesn't have to employ an army of financial staff to do that. Huge, huge expense item zeroed out. And then last but not least, guess what? Airbnb basically takes all the risk of any property damage. So we don't have to worry about that either. So I mention that because here we are. Here's 2 big stacks of money. And Noel, I'd like you to explain what happened. This story is crazy, folks. What do you think so far, folks? You like this so far? You interested? You want to learn the next step, everybody? You sure? Okay, so Noel, enter in somebody who entered your life and what they did for you.
Yes, so like I said, you guys remember from the story, I quit my job. I am flying high as a, entrepreneur who does not have to work for anyone else. And I have my rental properties that, are bringing in me, good money each month. And so I'm teaching, I'm mentoring, and along comes this really young student. This young kid, he's probably like 18 years old. And he tells me, he offers me a joint venture. He says, for a few $1,000s, he's going to get and rent 5 apartments, and he's going to be able to make 3 times what I'm making, on my rental properties. And he's going to show me how to do this, okay? And I was kind of skeptical. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little skeptical. This young kid, I'm like, okay, but I'm interested, of course. An investor invests, as I always say. So I give him the money, and when I tell you, he was absolutely correct. So on each unit, he was making $1,000 to $1,500 per month profit. Okay, that's after all of the rents are paid, all of the blah blah blah. $1,000 to $1,500 per month per unit. I was sold. I was immediately sold. And what he taught me was, instead of renting them out per month, you rent them out per night. Okay, and all you do is furnish the units and rent them out on a nightly basis. And you make 3 times basically what you would just renting out a vacant, a rental property.
Wow, that's crazy. And the numbers, folks, you're probably at this point going, wait a second. Let's just do the math. Because when we walk through the math, you're going to go, whoa. Okay, so Noel, your average property, $1,200 a month, you're making about $300 profit. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, so let's just take that. Which, by the way, folks, $300 on $1,200 ain't chopped liver. Man, that's 25% margin, folks. But with that said, let's look at a whole new world, okay? Now, Noelle is at the cutting edge of this Airbnb world. She understands real estate. She trains huge numbers of people on real estate and regarding Airbnb. So, number one, the average person putting properties on Airbnb has a occupancy rate of 70%. That's 21 days. Now, Noelle, you're a lot different than average. So what is your average once you get a property cooking? You get used to it and you're rolling it after a couple of months. What do you average?
Yes, I mean, honestly, we had it over $2,500 per unit. We figured out kind of how to list them, what type of furniture to put in there, how to maximize cost by getting multiple units at the same time. We really figured out some ways to cut down costs and to increase our nightly rate. Okay.
And your occupancy was what? Was it 80%?
Yeah, and it was actually at the highest point before the coronavirus and all this. We were at like 91%.
Okay. Let's just take the 91 crazy percent that only a killer like Noelle can do, and let's kind of cut it in half. Say it's 80%. So the normal person does 70. Noelle, she's not normal, but let's just say it's a bad month and you only get 80%. How about that? We want to use that stat?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So that's 24 days. Okay. Now, the average income on a property where it's like the full property, not just like a room, but not just one room, but a property like a condo or a house, like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, is about $140 a night. Is that a reasonable number, Noelle?
Yeah. Yes,
okay.
It is.
Let's take $140 times 24 days. That's $3,360. Now, the cost hasn't changed. Her cost is still $900. Her profit is $2,500. Now, a lot of times I don't like saying, hey, you're going to learn how to do 5X, 6X, 10X. But, folks, I think it's safe to say when we say we could 200 to 300% increase a cash flow, I mean, you do that, blindfolded, correct, Noelle? I mean, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not hard. And we'll show the breakdown of the numbers. They'll get it. They'll see why.
So here we go. It's real simple. What has Noelle done? She takes a long-term lease out. Somebody who has a 12-month lease is paying their $1,200. And she puts short-term rental in using, among others, the Airbnb platform. There are others, by the way, many of them. So this is not like just one joint we can go to, but it happens to be a pretty good place. So it's real simple. 24 nights times $140 is what it is. So there you go. So does everybody see how we've achieved secret number one? Does that make sense, everybody? Do I got your general agreement that makes sense? We good? Okay. Secret number two. Why you will never have to find, buy, renovate, or sell any property to make a great return. Okay. Why? Well, because Noelle's really good at it. She's trained an army of folks who are really good at it. And she took the best out of the best from her students and graduates. And they are the formative group behind NewRez. They're the ones that are finding the properties. They're the ones that are renovating or sprucing up a property. They're the ones that are doing the whole hosting process, the renovation process. So, Noelle, let's talk about that. You think you're pretty good at doing all that stuff with your team?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we got really good at, obviously, before we moved into just the rental properties are, still wholesaling, still finding properties that needed a little bit of work so that we could buy them right, the properties that we do purchase, so that we have equity in them. So, still have a team and a network of contractors, that know how to get things done at a really good price. We're able now to, with the power of what we're doing and how many units we're going to have, we've been able to negotiate some awesome deals on, materials and to spruce things up, and furniture deals. And we got a lot of awesome stuff together, just because we're, because it's power in numbers. So, and again, I know you'll explain that part, but us banding together and making an entire network is so much more powerful. It's so powerful.
So you have your new res, I call it the prep team, whatever the property is. By the way, just so you know, guys and girls, we don't just run out and buy a bunch of properties. That'd be foolish. What we do is, our philosophy is called door control. What we do is we find really good properties where we put up as little as possible to control the door. So we're looking, and we're going to give you some examples. We're looking for properties where we don't have to put up one thin dime if they want to do what are called revenue shares, where maybe they've had a property that's really nice, but they can't find anybody to get in it because maybe it's bad time. There's 100,000 reasons, but we'll find properties where we can do a revenue share with them. We'll find properties like right now. I'm not going to steal the thunder here. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But bottom line is, there are some cases when after we see that a property is really performing, then we're looking at lease to own and then purchase. And this is when your team can actually do even more kind of reno work. Correct, Noelle?
That's correct.
All right. So guess what? You don't have to do, folks. You don't have to find the properties. You don't have to buy the properties. You don't have to renovate the properties. You don't even have to work on the properties after the tenant's gone. We do it. You're an owner. How do you like them apples? You're an owner, okay? And let us do the work, okay? And then on top of that, as we get bigger and bigger and bigger and have more and more properties, we have the group that can come in and help us scale as we get bigger. And that group is called 𝗓𝗄. And as we bring in many more properties and it's time to scale fast, like it's about to happen, we have 𝗓𝗄 sitting to the side ready to go in terms of providing customer service, tenant service, so you don't have to deal with it. You're not the one taking the call. Boy, I tell you what, Noelle, how hard was it? Even, you had a bunch of Airbnb properties, of course you do now. But just the part of handling the tenants and doing that's a lot of work, right?
It is.
So you don't have to do it, folks. Is that good? You all smiling? All right. So let's just go back real quick. Secret number 2 is why you'll never have to do it. Well, you got a crackerjack team. You have like the SEAL Team 6 of real estate here doing it, and you don't have to do it at all. Now, I love this third. So is everybody agreed? You see that you don't have to do the work? Does that everybody make sense there? When everybody listening to this, you're not going to have to be out there doing that, right? We good? Okay, ready? Secret number 3. How you don't have to risk putting up a huge deposit or even getting a bank financing to invest in real estate. And everybody here, if you haven't heard this before, it's the first time here, you're going, well, this ought to be cute, because come on. I know way back in, 2004, 2005, you could do no money down deals. Those days are gone. So how do you do it here? Well, really simple. Do you have $500? Now, I'm not talking about the left-hand stack I call the risky way. That's about $30,000 in Benjis right there, okay? Do you have the stack on the right, though? That's the 5 crisp $100 bills. You got that? That's the whopping huge investment that you got to save up your whole life to do to become an owner of new res. That's all you have to do. You want to get involved with your res? Get involved as an owner? 5 Noel, let me ask you a question. Is the, in terms of a barrier to entry to get into real estate, would you say that the money quotient is probably the biggest?
Definitely. Definitely. Like I said, most people, they want to invest in real estate and they're immediately intimidated because there's the traditional way does really, if you really want to just go the traditional route and get a rental property, you're going to need, $20,000, $30,000.
I'll tell you what, there it is. And that's that big stack. $500, folks. Now, at this point, you're going, well, what does $500 get me? Well, let's recap real quick before we show you. So secret number one, how do you dramatically increase cash flow? Well, you do short-term rental instead of long-term rental. Got it? Check. Secret number two, why don't you have to do all the stuff like finding properties, raising capital, getting bank financing, renovating, repairing, finding tenants? Why don't you have to do that? Well, that's because you're an owner in a company and the team, the company, is the one that does it, and it's led by one of the top experts in the country. How's that? Secret number two, check. Secret number three, don't borrow or risk any money you can't or don't have. Start with $500. So, folks, have we checked the boxes in all three secrets? I think it's yes. Okay. But wait, there's more. And here's what the more is, because, obviously we stack you full of how we can do all this stuff. So you certainly understand, and this is, you give them just a smidgen of data. This is how we do all this stuff, okay? So is it okay for me to tell you what the opportunity is? Is it good for you guys? We're good? Okay, check the box there. All right, I like to ask permission. Don't like just to sell, without asking, okay? And if you don't want to hear, just, this no problem, no offense. If you check out now, at least we showed you, how we do things. Okay, so here we go. What are you going to get as a new res investor starting at $500? Well, here's the craziest part, and this is going to be a big thing for you to see in a few minutes. This is a very key thing. You get 60% of all the profits, I should say 60% of all the profits will go to the new res non-managed shareholders. That's you guys. What does that mean? Well, there's the management folks like Noel and me and others. That's management. And then there's the non-management investors. That's you guys. So when we distribute a profit, 60% goes to you. And you're saying, well, wait a second, you're only selling 10% of the company. Well, yeah. We're not a fund. Like funds will pay out maybe 4, 5, 6% annually. Not a fund. We're trying to make you guys a lot of money, but be fair because we've chopped so much of the cost out. So whenever we do distributions, 60% of the profit goes to the investors. Now, when do we do it? Now, guess what? You're about to learn about I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to tell you what it is yet. But let's put it this way. Because of what we pulled off today, revenues are going to be rocking. Obviously, we had somewhat of a delay because of the this coronavirus, but that didn't slow us down because our target was always to start with our first distribution in the summer. Well, guess what? That's still the target. And once we do our first distribution, then and thereafter, we are committed to doing distributions every quarter after quarter. To tell you the truth, we actually intend to do it faster. But with that said, after we start our first distribution, it's quarter after quarter after quarter. That's crazy. Most private companies only do distributions once a year, if anything. Okay? Now you're really going to be interested in the next thing. What does $500 get you? Well, for every $500 that someone invests, they could receive as much as a 20 to 30% return on investment. Stop the presses. Noel, let me just ask you a couple questions on that one. The Federal Reserve came out today and announced that they were not going to be raising interest rates throughout the rest of 2020, throughout the rest of 2021, and not until the end of 2022. Now, if the Fed doesn't increase the interest rate, which is sitting at 0 or 0.25%, what do you think that means for the interest rate that banks are paying with their lousy CDs or bank accounts? What does that mean?
Yeah, so they'll stay low.
What's low? It's a 1/4 point right now, right? 1/4 point, half point. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're talking about as much as 20 to 30% return on investment annually, that's annual, not a month, annual. That's pretty big. That's really big. And you're actually going to see the mathematics in a few minutes here, a couple minutes. You're not going to believe it. But once I show you the math, once Noel and I show you the math, you're going to go, holy crap. Okay. What's more? There's more. Whenever new res, remember, we control a property, we rent the property, we lease to own the property, then we buy the property, and then if somebody comes along and says, I really love that property, whenever we sell one of our properties, we take the profit and we distribute it out to the shareholders. That means you guys again. In addition, and here's where the fun really begins. If you reach a certain investment level, only $1,000, and you have 1 or 2 rooms in your house that are unused that you want to make some money with, guess what? You can go to this part of the new res site, okay, and you can post a property, which is yours. Here, you see it here? Let's see, I'm going to hit this little bit. There you go. You post the property, let us know that you want to move one of your rooms, and by the way, many people that are involved with new res are people that are 50, 60 years old. They're empty nesters, and they have 1 or 2 rooms they can make money with. In fact, Noel, talk to people about the different things. And by the way, what we're talking about is what most of the Airbnb rentals are. They're not the whole house. They're not the whole condo. There are rooms in the house or the basement or tell Noel, can you tell people about what people can make money on? This is the second piece of income you can make with us.
That's right. And it's our second piece of our property acquisition strategy. So, all of our investors, they're able to take properties that they have, or that they know of, or, people, friends, relatives. And like Bob is saying, it does not have to be the entire house. It can be a room in the property. It can be a pool house. It can be a guest house. It can be a finished basement. Depending on the area, there's really some flexibility. I have a friend making, about $2,800 a month profit with a Windstream, this little mobile home looking trailer thing.
That's great.
But it's really nice and clean on the inside. And so it works, and people like different things. Airbnb is funny. It's really weird. They like, stuff that's about the location. They like, things that are unique and different. So it doesn't have to be what you think. It doesn't have to be the whole house.
And by the way, let's just talk about it. This is another piece of income. So if you've invested $1,000 and you have a room, I would like you to do the 60-day challenge with us. Okay? Just so you know how this works. Let us use your house. Let's gussy it up. We'll put the money up to gussy it up. We'll make it really nice, okay? And then let us rent the room. Give us 60 days with it. Now we're going to fill that room 80% of the time. So guess what? That's 24 days a month times 2. That's 48 days. Average rental on a room is $70. Let's pull out the handy dandy calculator. We got 48 times 70. That's $3,360. You get half. Just let us have access and use of one room. We're going to make you $1,680. Now you've invested $1,000, so now you made your money back in a profit of $680. Now there's second part of the challenge. The first part of the challenge is let us use a room of yours for 60 days. Here's the second phase of the challenge. I challenge you to stop doing it. Okay? Because when you're getting that money coming in every month, man, it's hard to turn that stuff down, particularly in these days. Okay? Now, Noel mentioned another thing. What if you know about a property, not even yours, but as a new res investors put up $500? If you know about a property, maybe you know the person that has the property, and you say, hey, how'd you like to make money with this company? How'd you like to, basically, if you refer us to a property, somebody you know who has a property, it could be a relative, it could be a friend, it could be a business associate, you get paid. We pay you. It's called a door bounty for as long as we're renting the property. You don't have to do nothing other than refer it. Talk to them. Say, hey, listen, I'd like to refer these guys to you. Would you talk to them? And they'll probably go, hell yeah, I'll talk to them. Make some extra money? Sure. Well, we pay every month. Okay? So that's the third way you make money. Okay? So we're just trying to throw money at you if you haven't figured this out yet. Okay? So there you go. Now it gets better. If you have a higher investment in us, instead of making 50-50 on a room or rooms in your house, or if you go, maybe go to a vacation for a month, let us rent out your whole house. If you invest a bit more, $2,500, you're going to make 75% of the action. Okay? So just remember that. One room, $3,360. 75% of that, it's a lot of money. I can't do the math that fast. Like $2,500, $2,600. It's a lot. Okay? So guess what? There's more. So that's new. That's that little chart you see here. That chart is the valuation of Airbnb. Airbnb started like 12 years ago. Okay? Two guys in a apartment in San Francisco that they couldn't afford and were running behind in rental payments. What did they do? One of them said, hey, let's clean up the corner of this one room, buy an air mattress with our last couple of bucks and rent it. And the other guy's like, are you kidding me? And he says, no, I ain't kidding you. And that's how Airbnb started. They literally were making so much from this bloody air mattress, they were making more than they had to pay in rent. And then they had the bright idea, smart idea, let's find other friends of ours who can't pay their rent either. And from there, away it went. So guess what? Here's where this gets crazy good. Okay, this makes this the easiest investment ever. Okay, the biggest no-brainer. Okay. Well, we're looking at maybe going public sooner rather than later. Maybe 3 years from now, 4 years from now. Maybe somebody comes up to us and buys us. But let me just talk about the public because that's what most companies do that are kind of cranking along. So right now, you can take $500 and buy 500 shares because that's what we're doing. We're doing something called a crowdfunding. That means you paid $1 per share. Do any of you know what the average public offering per share goes for? Between $20 and $40. So let's just say 30 on average. And then once the public offering happens, then the shares typically go up. All right? Now, when we go public, if that's what we do, or we get bought and we get $30 a share, guess what? You're one of those folks everybody hears about. Oh, yeah. I knew about this company and I bought shares and they went public and I had a whole pile more money. And, a couple, 2, 3 years from now, my guess is you're not going to be at 500 shares. You're probably going to be at a lot more. So this is how you make a super killing. You know what I'm saying? And Noel, what are the odds that if somebody comes along and we're sitting at, a couple, 5 or 6 or 10,000 units, what are the chances if they said, hey, we want to take you public for $30 or $40 a share? Is it pretty likely that you'd probably want to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan.
That's the plan. Okay, so that's another way you make money. Okay, so let's just review this real quick. You don't have to find the properties as an investor. As an owner, we do. You don't have to buy the properties. Well, that's why we're raising money. We do. Or control the properties. So we're not just buying. We start with control. You don't have to find the tenants. We do through Airbnb and other platforms like it. You don't have to collect the rents. You do.
We can barely hear you, Bob.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, yeah, there's something happened with my little computer. But
Yeah, you're going
hear
out
me now?
again. Nope, you're going out. We can hear you
Okay,
now.
how about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
great. So let's just keep on. We keep the roll going here. Okay. So right now, I think it's time to once again say, here's the opportunity. For as little as $500, you can get involved. 500 shares. If you invest $1,000, we can make money with your rooms or your properties. If you invest $2,500, you get 75% and not just 50%. If you invest $5,000 and you have a bunch of properties, we'll property manage them for you and make 75%. Now, if all we did was generate just a really good return for you at 10%, that's it? That's all we did? Would it be worth it? Okay. Yes? No? Probably. If all we did was make you a good return of 5%, but also help you rent out your properties and make you money there, a second cash flow, would this be worth it? Next question. If all we did was make you a good return of 5%, but you also could make serious money if New Res was bought or went public, would this be worth it? Well, I don't know. Probably so. One last thing. It comes down to two choices. Choice number one, Noel, this is how you had to do it, right? You had to buy the real estate, renovate it, rent it. Is that what you had to do?
That's right. Yes.
Okay, so you got that choice. That's the old choice. The new choice is risk very little, like whopping $500. You could afford to lose, be an owner of the next hot company, and let New Res take care of everything. You just sit back and collect at a minimum quarterly checks. Now, here is what I want to go. I want to show people. Is this a good time to show people the first properties we're doing? Is that okay, Noel?
This is the exciting part. Like now I'm all excited. Yes, they're going to love these videos.
Okay, so I want you could see the first property. I'm going to show the pictures because I don't know how to do the videos, but here's the first property. Here we go. Look at this. And Noel, tell people about what you were seeing. I mean, we were there today. We've been working on this for weeks. Talk to people about this property.
Amazing property. It has, I think it was 132 units, but it has townhouses and apartment style, garden style apartments. Okay. Really and truly, this is a building that has been renovated. It was renovated beautifully. And I think if they would have taken the time or had the political connections, it probably would have been a condominium unit. It is beautiful. Okay. It is in a great area of Clearwater. It's prime real estate. You know, if we were to be able to buy these, they would cost probably nearly $1 million. So to be able to rent them, and they're actually giving out free rent, and, you know, we'll be able to put our signature touches on it to make them beautiful and list for a high amount per night. They're going to be super profitable. This is a steal.
And let me mention this. I'm kind of going through. This is the gorgeous lobby they have. I mean, that's what you just saw a second ago. Go back here. This
the amenities are 5-star. You know, like I said, if this was a resort or a condominium, this would be 5-star. You know, you walk in, it has the beautiful circular, you know, roundabout when you enter the large foyer / lobby. There's a yoga studio with full yoga mats and full yoga on demand where you can play which video you want. There's a full fitness center. There's a beautiful pool with lots of lounging chairs with brand new expensive patio furniture that is just beautiful for outings or just laying by the pool. Amenities are just top notch. They're making a sundry room. There'll be on-site massages at this place.
What about?
Okay?
I'm showing them the golf, the golf.
Yes, the golf simulator. So there's indoor and outdoor. So by the pool, there's an outdoor golf pad. They probably can saw there with like a putt-putt. And then there's an indoor golf simulator that's fully programmed with like thousands of golf courses there. It's in an air-conditioned room with tables and chairs if you wanted to host a small gathering there, or if our group wanted to. It's just amazing. I just can see the investors, the people on the call wanting to visit this property and having access to this property. It is amazing.
And folks, I'm going to send you out the videos of the properties. That's the special surprise. We have now secured and have agreed upon, and now everything's rolling. The contracts have been sent. We're signing them. We're getting 4 major properties, 4 of them just in this place. And here's the crazy part. Ready for this? These are the numbers I want you to sink in on, okay? We are paying $300 to get in on each of the properties. I didn't say first month, last month deposit, which would normally happen about 5 or 6 months ago. Okay?
Yeah.
$150. We're talking 2-bedroom units, 3 2-bedroom units, gorgeous, and then kind of like I call it a 1.5. Okay? These properties are $1,500 each. That's it. These are properties that normally go, $1,800, $1,900, $2,000. So guess what? We're paying $300 to get in. They give us a month free rent. Our cost to open this bad boy up in terms of what we pay them is $300. Now, let me ask you a question here, because I'm going to tell you guys a startling thing. Because we have about 90, we just started. We have about 90 investors, a little over $100,000, actually maybe 115, 120,000. We just started. Now, let me ask you a quick question here, Noel. Property like this, 2-bedroom. What do you think we could do a night with this, particularly in the big season here, which is like 6 months, 7 months?
Yeah, $200 a night, easily, $200, $300 per night. In the peak season. Absolutely. It's in Clearwater. It's near the beach. It is brand new. The amenities at the property. Oh,
it just opened up in September. Okay.
Brand new.
All right. So let's just take our little number of, what the hell? Let's just say $200. So let's take your 80% occupancy. We should probably do a higher level. You want to do 85 on this one, Noel?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do 85. So 30 days, 85% occupancy. That's 25 days. Okay? Watch this, folks. 25 days times 200. That's $5,000. Let me say that again one more time. That's $5,000. That's $5,000. One property. It costs us $1,500. That's $3,500 total. Now here's where it really gets fun. Let's do $3,500 times 4. That's $14,000 a month. These 4 properties, and we've already been running the numbers, we know how much money we're going to distribute to the investors with these 4 properties. And the ROI on a monthly basis for 4 stinking properties for our first group of investors is 20% on 4 properties. I'm going to stop for a second. Just let that think in. This is 4 properties. Now our target by the end of September is to be at about 40 or more properties. Okay? So we're moving. And by the way, this building has set aside, Noel, I think, did you see that they went ahead and they're setting aside another 4 units for us to pull the trigger on at late July?
Yes, on some higher floors with better views.
Okay. Why? Because they're finishing those properties off.
Yeah, yeah, and they'll be beautiful.
Okay, so I just want to repeat again. You investors that are sitting there, if there's any investors, these 4 properties by themselves make enough cash flow to generate a 20% annual return to all the investors. 4 properties. Let that sink in when we're telling you where this is going. Noel, can you believe these numbers? Can you believe what we got this thing at?
Incredible.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Okay, so that's 4 properties. I just want to say that again then Noel and I just kind of sauntered across the street because there's another gorgeous group of buildings that just opened up 6 months ago. We met the lady. Guess what? They're giving 1 month away for free. Great properties. Nothing to get in. And this is where we're at these days. So starting tomorrow, we unleash the hounds of hell, as they would say. Because there are deals everywhere like this. There are fully furnished houses that we've now been identifying that go for like $1,000. And on Noel, in a fully furnished property, I mean, even at the lowest rate, we're probably talking $120 a night, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's happening, folks. So as soon as we lights up on this property, we go live on this property. July 1 is when we go live, and we start collecting up all the money from just these 4 properties and others. We finish out that first full month of revenue, and then we do our little calculations, as they would say. We let this ride through July, a little into August, and then we're gonna shoot out that first of payment. I'm telling you that right now. That's the target for sure, which is our target. We said summer. We're gonna get this bad boy going in the summer. So I mean, I don't know about you. I know we've been talking to these folks and I had driven by this building so many times. On a scale of 1 to 10, Noel, how surprised were you when you saw this property?
It is beautiful. And the pictures and the videos, hopefully they'll see the video, doesn't even give them justice. They're beautifully constructed. It's absolutely great. It's prime real estate. It's where you would want to be. It's where our investors, everyone on this call, you guys are going to want to come and visit this property and vacation in this property as well. This is not going, these are going to stay booked. They really are.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I think there's a picture of me and you running across the, oh, there I am. If you all want to know what I look like, I'm the guy with a big smile on my face with a black shirt. I'm like, I can't believe this. I think I was like going, can you believe this? So, folks, I just wanted to take you the time to see what we're doing, okay? That's like seeing, right? So we got one more surprise. This course you're seeing right now, because we have people who want to basically just do passive income, which is fine. Getting quarterly checks is great. There are some people who are going to want to make 1 or 2 of their rooms available. That's great. Some of you, I mean, heck, you may want to invest more and you have other properties, send them to us, great. You may want to refer properties to us. That's another way of making income. Well, another way is the B&B Riches course, which, can you tell people just a little bit about this real quick? Because we have another surprise for you on this deal.
Yeah, so again, picking up from my same story, letting you guys know. So once I kind of, was partnering with this young kid, he showed me the ropes on Airbnb. We started making, 3 times, 4 times, the average rental property, profit. So really making a ton of money now. Started to realize you don't need as many properties. At one point I was up to over 40 single family houses. And so I started to realize since we were making more per property, we didn't need as many. But with what we have going on here, we can actually get the benefit of both. We can have lots of units. we can make lots of money on each unit, and people can get started for not a lot of money, so that we can still power together and use the power of numbers, for our benefit. And so, again, once, I kind of started getting into it, and I switched my business over and I started transitioning my properties to short-term rentals. And in that market, it's not just Airbnb. We have other websites. We have corporate clients. We have people that want to book directly with us. You investors may want to book directly with us and get our properties at a discount. So there's just an amazing opportunity that we're taking advantage of with all of this.
So here's the deal, folks. Airbnb Riches, B&B Riches, is a tremendous training system, videos. I had one of my people I've known for years do this training in a couple days, knew what they were doing. And let me just explain something real quick, just so you to really get this out loud. I brought a fella in, never been involved with real estate in his life, ever. He did this course in 2 days. He then started calling places just like Noel trained him how to. And you guess which one of the, it was the second call he made was to this place. That was his second call. He called up this place, says, what the hell? I'm going to take this training and I'm going to see if I can land a property or, properties here. This was his second call. Okay, folks? The course works. Did you know that, Noel, that this was his second call? This was the second call.
I did not know. I didn't know it was the second one, but I did know that, he to like water, like to a fish in water. He was like, yes, I get it. And I get exactly. And we can find places. So like I said, the first people may not have been receptive, but the second one's wow. The second call,
bam,
cool.
There it is. So guess what? Why we keep on talking about B&B Riches? Because some of you probably want to make even more money. And we want to get an army of people out there. And normally B&B Riches costs $997 for people to do and then get coached through with Noelle and her team. If you invest $500 tonight, $500, you also get that for free. No cost. So I've now shown you the fifth way you can make money with us. The fifth way. Now, you don't have to run and do the course next week. But after you start getting those checks and you start seeing what we're doing, you're going, man, this is unbelievable. Man, I think I want to be an Airbnb Riches person. And on top of that, if you do become an Airbnb Riches graduate and you start finding properties and you need a little money to get it rolling, you can partner with us. We'll put the money up. We'll partner. So I don't know, Noel. I don't know of a bet. Okay, so let me ask everybody the question one more time. We started with the easiest way to succeed in real estate. Would everybody agree that that's possible now? That this is the damnedest easiest way you've ever seen? Noel, do we need to say anything else? Is this like the easiest way?
Yes, easy.
Easy peasy. It can't get easier, I don't think. So here's all you have to do. So let me explain what you have to do. You have to go to TrueCrowd, which is a crowdfunding site that's registered with the Security Exchange Commission. It's an SEC based site that allows companies to do crowdfunding. It's kind of like a way to do a public offering without having to spend $1 jillion. Well, guess what? All you have to do is go to TrueCrowd. Okay, let me show you it again. And you sign up for free. You register there. And once you've registered there, there's a little registration. You then go to the profile about New Res. Okay, here it is, little New Res. Okay, and then you get to read all about us. You have all this information. You can read all about us. See how we do it. You can see the numbers. You can see why we can take 4 bloody properties and make a 20% annual return for the group of investors that are already in. This is 4 properties. I'm going to say that a little louder for everybody to hear this. I'm telling you, folks, That's, we hit the number $200 per night. We're at 20. We hit $150 a night. We're at like 16 or 17% return on investment for the current investors in. Okay. All right. This is 4 properties. Okay. Unbelievable. But it's just math. So all you have to do is you go here, you click on invest, and then you invest. And that's all there is to it. Very easy. So you go there. If you invest right away, you also get B&B Riches for free. So there's 5 ways for you to make money. If you have any questions, any questions, you're trying to invest and you can't, or you can't figure out how it works, you email Noelle at newrez.com. Noelle, Noelle at newrez, NUUREZ.com. Well, I already have some questions coming in from my little cell phone. Can we just go through a couple? I know it's 9:06 right now, but is that okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here's the first question. Okay, so the question is, where is this property? The property is in Clearwater, okay, and it's right on Cleveland Street. And believe me, if you're an investor, you're going to be able to get in here. By the way, Noelle, if you were doing like a 5-star resort in Clearwater, which is, by the way, the beach is one of the top-rated beaches in the country, what would the normal price be? Like a 5-star deal? What would that be?
Yeah, like $299, $289. You figure between $269 and $299 right now, even is what we're showing. That's right now, and I mean 2020 after coronavirus.
How about peak season? Peak season. Let's say it's Christmas. Oh, it's got to be a fortune. Yeah. I live here. Yeah. It's a lot. So
it's a lot.
So that's the question. The second question is, I said something about post a property. Okay, what that means is you go to New Res. If you've invested and you have a room, okay, and you want us to make money, you go to post a property. Let me just pull it up here. And you just give us the information on the property. Hold on, let me show it to everybody. Okay, here we go. Post a property. You just go to newres.com, post a property, you put your name, email, phone, type of property, the address of the property, and the rental time. So that's how you do that. Noelle, there's one other question I had that just came in. Can I throw that at you? Yeah. I don't know. You may have some stuff there. Another question is Texas open for properties, because we have an investor who has some other properties actually. What's the situation in Texas? You were just there. How open are they in terms of?
I'm actually going to be going back there next month. So yeah, they were opening back up. We're watching and see. One of the things that we were able to do during this coronavirus and this whole pandemic or whatever, we learned how to negotiate. We decided, we were able to negotiate some better deals, and we learned what areas were kind of pandemic proof, which ones would still do well in our model in the absolute worst scenario. And one of the things that we found is that a lot of the beaches stayed open, although all of the parks and things like that, pools and things like that, they really kind of didn't restrict some public wide open areas. And so we kind of have some data now, and we're going to be targeting. So Texas is definitely wide open. We watch to see what how their political figures behave as well. So we learned a lot, and we're going to be able to capitalize on a lot of the information that we have.
Okay, that's perfect. One last question. Somebody asked me, when can we see the video? I am sending out this recording tomorrow. The video or videos are in it. You'll have all the little links. Make sure if you haven't seen the email by 5 o'clock tomorrow, go to your spam area. It may have hit spam because there are a bunch of links. Let me ask you this, Noelle. Is there any other questions on your side? And anything coming up?
No, everything is good. Looking good.
We good. Okay, so folks, once again, you go to truecrowd.com, trucrowd.com, sign up for free, click on the New Res project to invest, follow the directions carefully, And if you have any difficulties, make sure you email noel@newres.com. By the way, you folks that are already investors, hey man, guess what? I mean, obviously the investors that we have in now and that came in the last few weeks here, guess what? You guys are the beneficiaries when we do that. We getting all that money coming in from these 4 properties and a bunch of others. We're going to be signing up in the next couple of weeks and filling up. When we hit a certain amount of money come in, we're not waiting for this day, that day. We're just going to go, bam, we're going to distribute money. So just know that. So we're going to try to get 1 month under our belt of money from just that 4 units. We have other units we're locking up right now, but just those 4 units, because of the amount of cash, as soon as we go through that 4-week period, we're going to hit the gas pedal, do our first distribution right after our first 4 weeks with this new beautiful property. Y'all excited, folks? You investors now? By the way, if you're an investor and and you thinking, I should get just a little bit more. Well, let me tell you something. After you heard what we're doing with just 4 units, I would do it right away. Would you agree, Noel?
I agree. Absolutely. Easiest decision, though. This is the easiest.
Easiest decision. And we'll send out this recording tomorrow. We'll send videos of the rooms. Wait till you see the rooms. Unbelievable. You're going to love them. Okay, guys, thanks for taking the time to be here. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.